I always wanted to buy a Rolls Royce like this. Not a new one, a used one like this. And I've looked into it a couple times. I met a guy in Adelano, California, which is in San Bernardino County. It's next to Victorville. And in Adelano, there used to be an Air Force base. I can't think of the name of it now. The niece's dad was stationed there, and the niece's mom used to live there for a while on base when she was married to the niece's dad, and he was still in the Air Force. Anyway, Marie and I went on vacation a bunch of times, and we were in Adelano watching the High Desert Mavericks play the ports. And I'm sitting, there's not a lot of people there, and I'm sitting behind the ports dugout, I got a ports, we have ports hats on, and I got a scorebook, and, I'm keeping score. So this guy walks over, and I think his name was Bill. I'm just not sure, but we get to talking, and he's a season ticket holder, and he sees, I'm just not a casual fan, so we get to talking, and because a lot of people at the ballpark, they're if they're a serious fan, and they see you're a serious fan, odds are they may, talk to you. So we get to talking, and he asks. He gives me a business card that says, number one bullshitter, and his name and his address. So he asked me to send him some pins at the port sold only at Billy Ebert. And this is long before you could ever do that stuff in the mail. So I don't take his money. So we get back to Stockton, and I buy him some pins, and I send it to him. Well, he's happy as hell. So the next year, they have some different pins, but I lost his address, and I couldn't remember. So I looked at the address of the High Desert Mavericks, and I sent his pins to him in care of the High Desert Mavericks. Well, I saw him in Las Vegas one year. Marie and I, we were separated by now, but we had the same days off still. I wasn't dispatching yet, and the AAA World Series was in Las Vegas for 2 days or so, and so we went down there. She got off work, and she slept while I drove. We watched the game that night, and then we watched the Wednesday game and the day game, and then we drove back. So anyway, we're at the ballpark in Vegas, which is not the new one. Goddamn memory. Goddamn it, Cashman Field, which is really not a bad place to watch ball. I liked it there. Anyway, there's not a lot of people there, and I'm wearing an old Ports jersey, a game-worn one that sadly I lost all my game-worn jerseys in the fire. And I see this guy Bill, and we get up, we start talking, and he has a Rolls Royce, and he's an older one like this, and he says it's the greatest travel car on God's green earth. And as he explained it, not all the not the motor certainly, but the tranny, the air conditioning, the power windows, all that crap. Though it may have a Rolls-Royce part number, there is an exact matching part with a GM part number. So if you get a guy who knows his GM and knows what he's doing, when something fails, like the water pump or the compressor, you don't buy a Rolls-Royce one, you buy a GM one, and it's the same damn part, and about 10 times cheaper. So you can, if you know the right guy, keep these on the road. Well, at the time, I knew a guy through some golf friends that ran a Chevron station and the garage in Oakland, in Montclair. So, so I talked to him about it. He says, well, yeah, sure, I can do it. So the plaintiff and I are in Palm Springs one summer, and I decided hey, let's stop at the used Rolls Royce dealer. And then got some Bentleys and some Rolls and stuff. And it was like 187 degrees outside. I'm sorry, not the plaintiff, the she-devil. So the she-devil's in the car, and it's hot, and she ain't happy. But I start talking to the sales guy, and I'm explaining it to him, and he gets the keys, and it's a beautiful Rolls. It's got about 40,000 miles on it. It's just pristine condition, and it's a fair price. I'm thinking, God damn, I want to buy one of these. Until I get in the car, and I don't fit. And I was just heartbroken. And I looked at the salesman, and he looked at me, and he saw his sale going goodbye. And I said, are all the Rolls Royces like this? And he said, I'm sorry, but yes. And that was the end of my Rolls Royce dream. So I'd never buy one. Now I'd never buy $350,000 for a car. I don't care how rich I ever get. So there's your Rolls Royce story for today. And thank you for watching Storytime with Joe.